There were some big changes on the political scene after the German regional elections last Sunday. As expected, the CDU, the ruling party, lost voters, and the new party, AfD, the Alternative for Germany, gained support. Many commentators, especially in the mainstream media, are saying that this was a huge defeat for Angela Merkel and that this has sent shockwaves on the political scene in Germany. But when you look closer at the results, Merkel really didn't lose that many voters. Now, there were regional elections in three regions in Germany, in Rhineland-Palatinate, in Baden-Württemberg, and in Saxony-Anhalt. And if you take a look at Rhineland-Palatinate, the CDU got 32.8%, and that is only 2.4% less than in the 2011 elections. So the difference really isn't that big. The AfD got 12.3%. Now that's not a bad result, but still it's not really a huge shift. In Baden-Württemberg, the CDU got 27%, and that is 12% less than 5 years ago. And that is significant. In this case, we can actually say there was a difference. But what's more surprising is that the Green Party got over 30%. And that is incredible. The AfD got 14.9%, ahead of the Social Democrats, who got 13%. And in Saxony-Anhalt, that's in the former Eastern Germany, the CDU remained the biggest party, and they got 39.7%, but that is only 2.8% less than 5 years ago. Even here, the difference is not that big. The Social Democrats, however, the SPD, got 10.9%, and that is 10% less than in the last elections. And the biggest news of all, the AfD got 24% of the votes, which makes them the second biggest party in Saxony-Anhalt. According to German TV channel ZDF, 3/4 of the people who voted for AfD did so in protest. They wanted to show the ruling party a yellow card. And they actually managed to mobilize people who usually don't vote. According to ZDF, they made up 40% of the voters of that party. And that is significant. The mainstream media was quick to point out that the AfD has no real solution. But does Angela Merkel have a solution? Of course she doesn't. She doesn't want to change anything. In fact, she has said that she will not change her policies towards immigration, even though she suffered a clear defeat in the local elections. So nothing is really going to change. And maybe the AfD doesn't have all of the answers, but at least they're talking about it, and that is always a first step. The mainstream media and the mainstream parties are not talking about immigration problems. They're just ignoring them. They don't want to take any kind of debate with the AfD, or any other opposition for that matter. This means that, as Angela Merkel said, they will continue with the insane policies. If there is going to be any change, then the opposition, the real opposition, needs to get at least 50% of the vote. That's the bottom line, unfortunately. These regional elections show that Germans are waking up, but they're not waking up fast enough. Germany took in over 1 million migrants last year. It seems that this was not enough. What happened in Köln and other cities with the sexual assaults was not enough. Perhaps Germany needs to accept 5 million or 10 million. Maybe then things will change. It's possible. However, things are starting to happen, especially when you look at the results in Saxony-Anhalt, in former Eastern Germany. The AfD got 24% of the vote, the second largest party. I guess that people in the former DDR are not as brainwashed by the mainstream media as people in Western Germany are. I guess that people still remember the old communist propaganda, and they may be a bit more sensitive when someone is trying to tell them lies. There is a clear difference between the former Eastern Germany and Western Germany. So, in a sense, these results are good, but also you see that things are not changing that fast. Why are people still voting for Merkel? This is something that I find really hard to understand. I know that the mainstream media is bashing all of the real opposition, and they are trying to present Merkel as a person who can sort everything out and that she's trying her best. But really, please, come on. Ordinary Germans live in the real world. They see all of the problems with their own eyes. How come she only lost 2.4% in Rhineland-Palatinate? If anyone who is listening actually voted for Merkel, please leave a comment. I'd really like to hear from you. What is your reasoning for voting for Angela Merkel? The real test for Angela Merkel will be during the German parliamentary elections in the third quarter of 2017. But I think the question is, can Germany survive another year and a half of Angela Merkel's rule?